Welcome back to RuralVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I'd like to get into another property in Hawaii that I think we could build a yurt on. And I'm talking about yurts a lot recently. I'll get into the economics of it, and maybe that'll share why. But first, let's show off this property a little bit. Let's zoom out. So we're on the Big Island of Hawaii. We're on RuralVacantLand.com on the map search part of the website, so you can see all the different properties I've got up for sale at any given time. And so we're going to the western side of the island. Sorry, the eastern side of the island. Eastern side of the island's got this community here. It's called Non-Wally Estates. And Non-Wally, a couple properties. This is the one I wanted to talk about right now. It's at the end of a cul-de-sac. So there's a little street here. Drives down. You can see the property. I'm asking $3,999 for this property. And the taxes are $100 every 6 months, and they're $99 a year HOA. So basically $300 a year to keep the maintenance of this property going. If we zoom in on this property here, I think we can see street view off to the side a little bit. Not the actual street that the property's on, but really close. So this is the kind of neighborhood. Just close this thing. So we got just nice greenery all over the place, and this would be the actual street. So down at the end of this street, there's a power line here, power line going down the street, so you could hook into the power grid if you wanted. You don't have to. And you can drive down here and set up in the woods. Here's just a view of the area. Nice looking trees, bush, neighbors. Looks like the place is taken care of. So here's the listing. If you wanted to buy this, you could go to the Buy It Now button on my site. But I wanted to show this previous video I just published. I pulled up this one, and this is a yurt that you can rent for $65 a night in the same neighborhood. Lady lives in a bus, has a yurt on the property. It tells you about the regulations of the neighborhood. You can live in a bus, have a yurt you can rent out on the property on Airbnb. So here's the location of it, and I pulled that up, and it's just compared to this one, she is right here. It's just like down and a couple streets over, right? It's the same neighborhood. This is her yurt. This is a yurt you can rent out on Airbnb. You just go down to Kapuna Road, go up 2 blocks and over on Ginger Road, and you get to this property. You could put a yurt in here. You don't have to rent it out. I mean, but you could. So let's talk about yurts. This is one website. There's lots of places you can buy yurts and create yurts and everything else. You can probably make your own. You set your mind to it. But these people make yurts, Pacific Yurts Incorporated, and they got a website, nice like 3D builder thing. So we can make a yurt online, order it up if we want to. So we could pick out, let's take this monster, 30-foot lodge yurt. This is the big bad boy. $11,000 off the shelf. Let's see if we could do anything else. So the wall, we could get in a forest green if we want to look like we're, I don't know, African jungle. Terracotta looks kind of fun. Let's make a terracotta one. Wow, it looks pink in the picture. Maybe toast. That looks too Irvine boring. Navy could be cool. Cranberry, teal. I don't know, maybe just a dark linen classic thing. And then you pick the roof. Maybe we put the darker side. Oh, little trim. That could be interesting. Maybe it warms up more. Top cover. You could add $750. You could add some thing to the top, make it better. You can add a door fancy style door, basic door, panel door, window door. Let's keep it a cheap door. You can do how you if you want to add on fancier doorknobs and stuff. So you can design the whole place on here. Click, click, click. Here's some windows, a whole bunch of windows. You could just decide where you want to do windows. Fabric windows, $140 each. 2 fabric windows included at no charge. So for more of them, it goes up and up. Custom curved glass window system, $1,000 each. Jeez, heck with that. Trim kit, white. What that looks like. See if the thing loads. Yeah, you could pick where you want your windows and stuff. Might be too many options with the video running and everything. It's kind of slugging away on me. So, design that thing. Let's get to some crazy number. Oh, I upped the price something silly. $15,000 for this thing. I picked some fancy stuff. Okay, you could go down from there. But let's say it's 15 grand for a yurt. This is the really fancy, the creme de la creme stuff. The lady was renting her yurt for $65 a night, and if you go look at pictures of it, I mean, yeah, it's a yurt, but it's not like totally fancy one. It's just a basic one. Oh, it's nice, but it's not like fancy. So $65 a night. Let's say you took the same number and you rented it a whole bunch times 365. I mean, 23 grand in a year. Try to do that kind of math. Yeah, there's expenses. There's all kinds of other expenses and furniture and everything. But still, if you compared that to building hotels or bed and breakfasts or motels and stuff, a $15,000 building and renting it out for in a market that is collecting rent on big fancy multi-million-dollar structures, you could probably break even in year one. You run it for a couple of years, you start getting profits out of it. Maybe you put a couple of them on the property, it starts making even more sense. And if you're doing this for fun anyway and just filling the gaps with someone else staying there, it makes even that much more sense. And so that's why that's because they're so cheap to put together and build, and they're quite durable and they're fun. They're unique. They're different. They're not the same boring block square kind of place that you could rent or stay in or live in. That's not inspiring. This is more of inspiring, of downsizing, cutting bills, giving the middle finger to the bank and insurance companies and stuff, and doing it on your own. So this is the fancy one. You could build one of these and take it to the property and put it together. Here's some lot lines of the property. It's off the end of this ginger road. But here's some more pictures of just this is the kind of structure that people put together before it totally comes. And this looks like they're using 2x4s and some kind of strips of wood to put this together. They're like making their own. I'm sure you could make your own if you really wanted, but these are fancier cut strips of wood all around a circle idea up in the middle. And these are on little platforms. Looks just some triangles with a shape, building deck kind of stuff. If you've never got into building decks, I mean, I'm sure you can still figure it out. I pulled up some websites like decks.com has this one. Just let's say we got the 30-footer, right? And you just build a square 30-foot by 30-foot deck. And it defaults to 2x6 boards, 16-inch on center. And hit calculate, and it tells you what boards you could buy. Like if you made the whole thing out of 8-foot boards, you'd need 245 of them. I'm not sure what the cost of them in Hawaii is, but you could pull them off of Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever kind of website. But 245 of them at my local Home Depot, 2x6s, 8-foot 2x6s are like, I was just buying some for a project. I'm trying to think. They're around $4 a piece, I think. three something, 360 maybe, 370. Let's say 245 times 3.7 each one of them. It's like $900 in wood. That'd be the floor, but you'd still want some posts under it. So maybe another $100 in posts, another $100 in cement and forms, maybe $1,100, and you got a foundation for the sucker. And for the $15,000, big fancy yurt, you could do smaller. You could get away with less in lots of different ways. But that gives you the idea, right? So, or you could do less boards. You could do 20 footers or 12 footers. 12 footers are a lot easier to move. I don't know how you're going to move 20 footers without some crazy trailer or getting them delivered. You got to have a big rack on the roof of your truck. And this is Hawaii. You're probably not renting one of those. So decks.com, they got a bunch of deck plans. You can like pick out a deck to put it on, build a deck. You could take a piece of one of these decks, like one of these hexagon, octagon shaped chunks, and just build that, like one of these things without the rail. And it'd show you how to do the framing. If you go look in the design, like what the angles and cuts and lengths and boards and stuff are. Like there's one. That could be kind of nice, just like that. You could put the yurt on this round piece if you get the size right. And then you get a little extra place to put your barbecue out there or something. But it doesn't have to be that hard. You can do a whole bunch of plans. Download the plans, and then it talks about if you use pressure treated pine, $3,000, composite $5,000, exotic hardwood $7,500, cedar $3,800, redwood. A lot of people around here like to use redwood. $3,700 worth of wood to go build a deck like that. So you can go through the prices and you get the material costs and everything. You could probably do it for Hawaii if you set the specs in here and probably pull costs of wood from Hawaii. And you go set it up on your own property. So if one of these properties is right for you, go back to my website. It's ruralvacantland.com. I'll put a link below to the specific property that you can do this on. It's $4,000 or $3,999. You go there, click the buy it now, and fill it out, and the property's yours. You can go to work on it. I'll do all the paperwork and get it into your name. So hopefully that's the right one for you. And you want to go build a yurt in Hawaii and have fun doing it. More power to you. I think you should put it on YouTube and show other people what you're doing, and you probably get volunteers will show up and help you work on it along the way, or people that want to come rent it from you afterwards to check the place out. And I think it'd just be a lot of fun. You share the knowledge, share what you learn while you go make it happen on your own. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com.